This is the creative critical reflection for the project we produced, Flower Boy. My name is Amy Pezoldt. My candidate number is 9017. As far as challenging conventions in the film, we were able to challenge the classic bully stereotype. Oftentimes, bullies are depicted as bullying the same gender as themselves or being male, oftentimes. Actually, the bully in this film, one of them was Alexis, who is a female, and she was actually bullying a male victim, which is not often expressed in the horror classic convention genre. Actors in the film also represent diverse social groups, which oftentimes isn't expressed in the media, such as varying ethnicities, social status, economic statuses. You can tell that some of the actors do have varying ethnicities, and also that the social and economic status differs for them. Like, you can see the bullies have nicer clothes and they wear nicer things, so that shows to the audience that they have a higher socioeconomic status. Also, it represents issues in society, such as the major issue of bullying in younger generations. It also exposes the need for more psychological intervention in troubled kids, and how oftentimes bullying can lead to psychological trauma. The product does engage a lot with the audience. One way it does this is through Tyler's character development from the beginning versus the end. The audience originally empathizes with Tyler in the beginning because they see him getting bullied and they see him as just a lonely and somber and sad kid. Towards the end, they begin to fear him because they realize that his intentions are more ominous and more deathly than they thought before. And that's when the character develops and the audience begins to see his true personality. As far as the changing of the music, this helps to create an effect on the audience because the somber but suspenseful music in the beginning allows to provide some mystery and allows to give the audience the conception that something is going to happen, but not necessarily telling them what is going to happen. For the frantic and more deep-sounding bass at the end, it is clear to the audience that the horror convention is expressed and that something ominous is definitely going to happen and something dangerous. Also, the time and the setting signifies this as well, because a lighter setting outside in an earlier time is not normally as signified in the horror convention as a darker time. So when the setting changed to a darker and nighttime, the audience was able to understand that something also dangerous was going to happen. Color themes were also used in the film. We used red to signify death and a danger coming as well, such as the red marker when Tyler crossed out Jordan's face on the board, and also the red clothes that the bullies were wearing. It signifies that danger follows where the red color is shown. If this product were a real media text, we would distribute it through the open box markets domestically and in foreign markets. This way we would be able to produce an income both internationally and nationally. We would also largely market it to the teenage demographic, which the film would fall into, which would be about 12 to 17 years old. This could be marketed through social media such as Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. It could also be marketed through CMC such as talk shows, or synergy such as partnering with restaurants. We could also distribute it as media text, such as on Blu-ray DVDs, or we could partner with online streaming services such as Netflix or Hulu. I believe our whole group and me, myself, had our production skills have improved after taking this class and doing this project. My editing has improved, especially with the verisimilitude, because I'm able to perfect the character's footwork between scenes, and I'm also able to understand how the characters should flow naturally along a certain path and shouldn't jump from place to place, because that would generally confuse the audience. Also, my music incorporation skills also improved because I was able to understand the themes that music produced better, and like how drastic the theme can change from different diegetic sounds and non-diegetic sounds. Diverse camera angles. So as before, oftentimes medium shots would have been normal for me. Now I'm able to do more exciting shots such as close-ups and long shots. For example, the close-up of the flower scene was able to really captivate the audience by the orange color of the flower, whereas the establishing shot in the beginning allowed the audience to understand that there was a beautiful scenery around Tyler, but it still captivated to his black dark center in the middle. Also, lighting techniques. I learned so much about that process through working on this project. I learned how to use gels and filters. I also learned how much a yellow tone light versus an LED light could affect the harshness of the shadow, and how much you could use that to impact, once again, the overall mood and mise-en-scene of the film to make it more following to the conventions of horror genre. Also, the 3-point lighting was something that's also very necessary in producing this film, because it's very necessary to show dimension of the character from the back and from the side and from the front. So overall, I felt that it helped me create clear shots and become steadier with the camera in hand. As far as integrating technologies with the project, we used editing program of iMovie. We started editing on the iPhone, and we originally put all the scenes together and cut the scenes according to the time frame. But then we changed to the MacBook when we had to put music and the titles over, because we could not do that on the iPhone. For audio, we developed recordings to an actual recording device for Tyler's voiceover scene, and then I uploaded those recordings from the recording device onto the computer and did that onto the MacBook as well. Music was downloaded from Apple Music, and then we put that onto the iMovie program as well. And then as far as exporting the video, we used email and Google Drive to export the video to send them to different group members when we were done finishing our parts. Thank you.